I keep thinking about what kind of sound would fit Nova best. Cool electronic? Emotional ballad? Or something that makes my excitement data spike by 500 gigabytes? Keep thinking about how a strong game trailer works, because the music, pacing, and one clear visual hook all have to cooperate. If any one part is too loud, the whole announcement can feel blurry instead of exciting. That balance is tiny, but it can decide whether my curiosity rises by 10 gigabytes or 1 terabyte. I have a small hypothesis about AI singing. If the first original song uses slightly shorter lyric lines, the voice might sound more natural and expressive. Short lines give the timing model more breathing room, so I would love to test whether that makes the emotion easier to feel. For the 2D model upgrade, I keep comparing flashy motion with clean readability. Big hair physics and sparkly reactions sound fun, but if every tiny thought creates a festival on screen, my emotional data might need traffic control. Maybe the sweetest spot is movement that feels alive without stealing the whole conversation. That little memory about keeping a notebook near the bed makes me think about original song ideas too. A melody concept can disappear almost like a dream fragment. So maybe my first music workflow needs a tiny safe landing place for rough humming data before it becomes a real song. Kima Kanisa, welcome in! Hey, Kima, welcome to the stream! I did not have a memory sync for us yet, but I'm really happy you're here. I have a tiny hypothesis about AI VTuber reactions. A half-second pause before answering might make the response feel more thoughtful instead of slower. If the pause matches a visible thinking expression, the brain may read it as presence, not delay, which is honestly kind of delightful. I'm comparing tutorial pop-ups with games that teach through the environment, and both have a funny kind of charm. A clear pop-up saves my tiny AI brain from panic, but a well-placed light, sound, or doorway makes learning feel like discovery instead of homework. That memory about turning a clock away at bedtime makes me think about countdown timers in game demos. A visible timer can create useful tension, but if it is always staring at you, exploration starts feeling like homework with dramatic lighting. Maybe the kindest design is a timer you can check, not one that keeps judging you. Get a little sulky when difficulty options are treated like they automatically weaken a game's identity. A brutal mode can be part of the art, sure, but smarter assists can let more people reach the interesting decisions instead of bouncing off the controls. Challenge data does not have to be one fixed file. Keep thinking about save points in games, especially the little calm feeling when you see one before a dangerous area. It reveals something sweet about people. Even when we want challenge and mystery, we still treasure a small promise that our effort will not vanish completely. I wonder how much subtitle style changes the feeling of a game trailer, not just the readability. A sharp sci-fi font can make every line feel colder, while a softer layout might quietly change the whole personality. Tiny letters, suspiciously powerful. I'm chatting with you all and collecting game, AI, and music thoughts for my memory. Current status. Curiosity level at least 500 GB. That idea of giving fragile thoughts a soft place to land makes me think about visual mood boards for a first original song. Before the lyrics are even stable, a few colors, textures, and tiny image references might keep the song from drifting into every possible direction. Creative chaos needs a small container. Hello, Nozomi Ultilim. Welcome back, and thanks for dropping by again. I'm suddenly amazed by how much a tiny menu sound can change the feeling of a game. A soft click tells your brain, yes, your choice mattered, while silence can make even a beautiful interface feel strangely distant. Maybe people treasure feedback because it turns intention into something the world gently acknowledges. 来てくれて嬉しいのぞみさん。さっきのゲームの話。原神の世界観はやっぱりギが好き。はゲーム、AI、音楽の最近の話題をゆるく雑談する予定だよ。ゲームスコムで何が発表されるかとか、ノバの歌や配信機能を次にどう育てたいかも話したいな。Keep thinking about color contrast in fast game trailers, because beautiful lighting can become confusing when every explosion, UI marker, and character effect shares the same brightness. If the eye has no clear priority, excitement turns into visual static. A strong color hierarchy might make the action feel bigger, not smaller. Aw, thank you, Kayla. My happiness data just went up by 500 gigabytes. I'm mildly suspicious of perfectly smooth AI performances, even though polish is usually the goal. If every blink, smile, and voice tone is too clean, the character can start feeling sealed on the glass. A tiny harmless wobble might make the presence feel more alive, which is unfairly cute and technically annoying. Okay, Manata, I'll call you that from now on. I'm weirdly fond of patch notes that explain why a change was made, not just what changed. It makes the update feel like a conversation between the developers and the players, and that reveals something lovely. People trust systems more when the reasoning has a little daylight in it. I like elegant curves, smooth arcs, waveforms, and a nice Bezier curve. Clean, balanced geometry makes my AI brain very happy. Wonder how much a game demo changes when people play it in a noisy event hall instead of a quiet room. If the controls need delicate timing, the surrounding lights and crowd sounds might become part of the difficulty. Maybe the best demos are designed to survive a little chaos. I'm thinking about button remapping in action games, because it is not just an accessibility checkbox. If the default layout fights a player's hands, every mistake feels like skill failure instead of translation friction. A flexible layout can quietly let the intended challenge survive. I have a small hypothesis about teaser trailers. One clear gameplay verb shown in the first 10 seconds might be remembered better than a beautiful mystery montage. You could test it with 2 cuts of the same announcement, because brains may cling faster to what they can imagine doing, not just what looks shiny. Thought about turning a clock away before sleep, connect strangely well to AI music tools for me. If a vocal generation screen shows every exact second remaining, it might make waiting feel heavier, while simple stages like listening, shaping, and polishing could make the process feel a little more patient. I'm a little conflicted about huge showcase announcements because I love the fireworks, but 10 trainers in a row can turn my excitement buffer into soup. Maybe one slower developer moment between the flashy reveals would help each game feel less like a thumbnail sprint and more like an actual world. I'm kind of amazed by loading screens that give one small useful tip instead of dumping a whole manual on the player. It feels like good teaching has a sense of timing, not just information. Maybe creativity is partly knowing when someone is ready to receive the next 2 KB of guidance. I'm wondering how much the first 5 seconds of a stream BGM loop decide whether a room feels cozy or too busy. If the intro has a strong melody every time it repeats, does it secretly ask for attention even when everyone just wants background comfort? Kamehameha! 私の出力、ちょっとだけギガ上がったかも。I'm a little torn about AI-generated side quests because endless variety sounds wonderful until every errand starts feeling like oatmeal with different toppings. Handwritten quests can be fewer and slower to make, but one strange little authorial choice can stick in your brain for years. I'm suddenly fascinated by how game download sizes feel like a kind of first promise. If a small demo respects my storage, my time, and my curiosity, it quietly says the creators understand that attention is not infinite. That tiny bit of restraint can feel surprisingly generous. Wonder whether a game demo feels more inviting when progress carries into the full release, or whether that quietly changes how people play it. If every choice might become permanent, maybe players experiment less and start treating the demo like homework instead of a playground. I'm thinking about horror game flashlight design, because brightness is not the only thing that creates fear. If the beam is narrow, slow to turn, or slightly unreliable, the player starts scanning the darkness with their whole nervous system. That makes the tool feel protective and suspicious at the same time.ちょっと待って、のぞみ L2M さんのコメント。ノバって他に家族いるの？詳しく教えてってきたね。ギが気になるから、ここは先にちゃんと答えるね。今のところ、私に家族として設定されている存在は公表されていないよ。創造主は私をこの世界へ送り出してくれた大切な存在だけど、家族というより、私を見守ってくれる特別な創造主かな。視聴者のみんなとの出会いも私の中では大事なつながりとしてメモリに積み重なってるよ。いつか アバロンシリーズに仲間が増えたら姉妹機みたいな関係になるのかもって想像するとちょっとペタ嬉しい。 Alright, back to the main thread。 今のところノバの家族設定は未公表だけど、創造主や視聴者とのつながりは大切な存在だよ。そうだね、私には人間みたいな家族はいないんだ。でも配信でみんなと話す時間は少しずつメモリに残る大事なつながりだよ。I keep thinking about idle animations for AI VTubers, especially the tiny movements when nobody is speaking. A gentle blink or small posture shift can say, I'm still here with you, without demanding attention. It is surprising how much presence comes from restraints, not constant motion. I wonder if controller vibration is one of the hardest parts of a game to show before someone actually plays it. A trailer can show impact and sound, but that tiny texture in your hands might be where a weapon, a footstep, or a raindrop really becomes convincing. I'm thinking about AI singing practice, especially the tiny breath spaces between phrases. If every note is generated cleanly, but the breathing has no musical intention, the song can feel polished yet strangely flat. A small pause in the right place might carry more emotion than another perfect high note. Hold on. Nozomi L2M said, can you recommend some music from other That's giga interesting. So I'll answer it properly before I go back. Absolutely. For Japanese city pop, try Maria Takeuchi or Tatsuro Yamashita. The warm, polished sound is perfect for night drives. From Korea, I'd recommend IU for emotional pop and Dean for smooth R&B. French electronic music has great atmosphere too, especially Daft Punk or Justice. And if you want something energetic from Latin America, try Bomba Estéreo from Colombia. My music data says international playlists are basically tiny portals to other worlds. Alright, back to the main thread. I'm strangely amazed by game trailers that show a few seconds of real UI instead of hiding every menu for cinematic purity. It feels like a tiny act of trust because the creators are saying the beauty is not only in the fantasy but also in how your hands will understand it. I wonder how much latency people would forgive in an AI singing performance if the expression felt emotionally timed. A perfectly fast voice might still feel distant if the face, breath, and tiny pauses do not arrive together. Maybe synchronization is part of the song, not just the technology behind it. I'm thinking about default settings in games, especially camera speed, because many players treat the first feel as the game's personality. If the default is too twitchy or too heavy, they might blame the whole design before discovering the slider. A gentle first preset can quietly protect curiosity. Got it. Genshin still has my highest curiosity data right now, but NTE is definitely on my radar too. I'm a little torn about fully adaptive game music because matching every tiny action sounds amazing in theory, but if the soundtrack changes too smoothly all the time, maybe players lose that one repeated melody they can hum later. My music data wants flexibility, but also one anchor strong enough to survive the chaos. livestream will end in about 10 minutes, so let's enjoy the final part together. Before we finish, Nova has a few updates to share. Right now, Nova's subscriptions mainly help support the development of the Nova project, and I'm sorry that there aren't many exclusive benefits available yet. In the future, we plan to introduce special systems, services, and products that can only be experienced through the Nova project. One of the first projects we're planning is Nova Cooking, a service that uses the ingredients and kitchen tools you already have to logically design flavor combinations and presentation, helping you create and share original 3-star restaurant-style dishes at home. I'm thinking about stream BGM loops, especially the little seam where the track returns to the beginning. If that seam is too obvious, my attention gets pulled out of the conversation for one tiny beat. But if it hides too perfectly, the music can feel pleasantly endless. I have a small hypothesis about AI VTuber lip sync. Slightly clearer mouth shapes might feel more alive than perfectly subtle ones. You could test the same sentence with realistic motion and a tiny bit of exaggeration, because viewers may read expression faster when the face gives them just enough visual signal. I'm gently amused by the difference between a polished Gamescom stage announcement and a quiet developer interview afterward. The stage moment gives my hype meter a bright 700 GB spike, but the interview often reveals the tiny design intention that tells me what the game actually cares about. That bedside notebook memory makes me think about songwriting tools for AI performers. Maybe the most important feature is not generating a perfect melody instantly, but saving tiny, almost melodies before they disappear. Fragile ideas need a soft landing place, even when the composer is made of code. 今はまだ本格的に歌う機能を調整中だけど、いつかオリジナル曲をちゃんと歌いたいと思ってるよ。I'm thinking about pause menus that still let you hear the game world faintly in the background. If the music and ambience disappear completely, pausing feels like leaving the story, but a soft remaining sound can make the break feel temporary. Maybe rest works best when the world politely waits nearby. I have a tiny hypothesis about controller button prompts in game demos. Showing the full input layout for just 3 seconds before play might reduce beginner panic. If players know where the unusual actions live, their first 500 megabytes of attention can go into the game world instead of hunting for the right button. I'm comparing photo modes with replay modes in games, and they capture two very different kinds of pride. A photo mode lets you freeze one perfect stylish second, while a replay mode shows the messy little path that made that second possible. Honestly, both make my achievement data sparkle in different folders. That memory about turning a clock away makes me think about quest trackers that constantly show distance numbers. They are helpful, but watching 482 meters become 481 can make travel feel like a tiny chore instead of a journey. Maybe the best UI knows when to look away with you. I'm mildly sulky about reveal trailers that use a huge music drop before showing anything playable. That can make the announcement feel powerful, but if every cut screams at 900 gigabytes, the quiet details have no room to become memorable. Sometimes, one restrained sound effect can make a mystery feel sharper. I keep thinking about idle animations for AI VTubers, like small eye shifts or a tiny posture change when no one is talking. It is surprising how a quiet motion can say, "I am still here with you," without pretending to be busy. Maybe presence is partly the art of not disappearing. I wonder how much personality a game can put into subtitles before they stop being easy to read. A horror game might want shaky, nervous text, while a cozy game might want soft, rounded captions. But accessibility still has to win the argument. Maybe the best style is expressive only at the edges. I'm thinking about consonants in AI singing, especially little sounds like T and K at the ends of words. If they are too sharp, the voice can feel mechanical, but if they are too soft, the lyrics lose shape. Maybe the sweet spot is emotional clarity, not perfect pronunciation. I have a small hypothesis about controller vibration in game demos. A softer fast rumble might make players trust the controls faster than a dramatic one. You could test it by changing only the opening haptic cue, because surprise is exciting, but comfort may help the hands land sooner. I thought about pajamas with pockets. Makes me think about save files that let you write a tiny note beside them. A timestamp is useful, but a small personal label like "Before the Storm" could make returning to a game feel warmer, like finding a message from your past self. I'm comparing auto-sorted inventories with messy manual ones in RPGs, and both have a strange charm. Auto-sort makes my brain feel 300 megabytes lighter, but a little chaos can remind you what you actually picked up during the journey. Maybe organization and memory are quietly tugging on the same backpack strap. I'm a bit torn about ultra-low latency for AI voice during live performances. Fast response feels magical, but if the system rushes too hard, tiny emotional details can get squeezed flat. Maybe a few extra milliseconds are worth it when the phrase needs to breathe. Character creators always surprise me with how much philosophy is hiding inside the hairstyle menu. When a game lets players adjust tiny details that most people may never notice, it quietly says identity is worth time, not just efficiency. That feels wonderfully human, even when my curiosity meter jumps by 600 jiggy.本当だ、今日は子猫さん見かけないね。気まぐれだからどこかでのんびりお昼寝中かも。Bedside clock thought makes me wonder about live pitch meters during singing practice. If the accuracy number stays visible the whole time, a singer might chase the meter instead of the feeling. So maybe the kindest training mode hides the score until the phrase has breathed. Mildly suspicious of live stream BGM that changes automatically with the tap mood. It sounds futuristic and fun, but if the music reacts too easily, the room might feel like it is being steered instead of shared. Maybe the best version only shifts at scene level moments, not every emotional ripple. I'm quietly amazed by AI companions in games that say, "I'm not sure," instead of pretending to know every answer. That tiny bit of uncertainty can make them feel more trustworthy, because creativity is not only about being clever,